Hopefully you can hear me. Okay, so let's close this. Great. So I wanted to kind of get a live stream in so that we could give everyone an opportunity to ask any questions we want. Some changes just again on the market. We're expecting some type of rally potentially in this two wave. It could even turn into something bigger. It's like an A, B, C for the first W because we are trading within a four wave on the higher degree cycle on the SPY. It could even turn into a triangle. Three waves, W here could be an X, could be like an A, a B, a C. So it could do a lot of things here. So we can't get caught up on the labeling. Okay, you can't get bent out of shape about what's the label. Is it a 2? Is it a 3? Because there's so many permutations and combinations of labeling. All we need to care about is, do we get a trade set up or not, is all we care about. The labeling we'll retrospectively go and update it, and perhaps we can narrow down some of these options as time goes on. But right now, I would not get fixated on the label. People that are getting bent out of shape on this label need to chill out. Okay, you guys need to calm down. The label can do this, it can go higher, it can do an erratic, sideways move in 4, or it could just crash on Monday and crash. You know what I'm saying? But the indices haven't been good trades. Haven't been good trades at all to buy the dip. I mean, it's been very erratic, but there's a lot of other good trades in the market besides the indices, okay? So we don't care about them. All right, I'll just jump to the super chats, guys, and then go from there. So start with anonymous again. And appreciate the super chat. Intel, probably is benefiting from the lower rates because it pays a dividend. But let's take a look at the situation. This is just what we forecasted. Look, I mean, guys, I drew this B. I remember doing it before we were down here. And I said, we're going to come back up and come back down. Look, this is what we're doing. Okay. So below this level, we're bearish. Now, we didn't, I would have liked to seen us come up to 29, but we didn't do it. So it looks like you've got some kind of 1, 2, 1, 2. Or maybe a 3, 4. So so it looks like to me you're making your move down. You're making your move down here. So I would say there's no real good setup other than to just understand where we may and where the final destination is, lower, and see how you erase divergence here. So because you erase divergence here, guys, this is pushing down, just as expected, So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So maybe the 3 is done. It's probably like that, right? And then a nice relief rally, right? Most likely, and then lower. This is the most likely path. We'll see something like that. And then sent me $10 and then deleted my 2 super chats. So again, you can't correlate GSOL to the price of Solana or any of those. It has premium. So there's no way to say, well, when Solana is this price, GSOL will be that price. You just can't do that. We'll have to look at the chart independently. There's no correlation because sometimes they trade below value, sometimes they trade above value. All right, so it's starting to hit this area. Now we had this push higher we want to see. This area just means it could reverse. Now, you see all that bullish divergence? We need to erase that. We need to erase all of this. All of this needs to come out and take this peak out. So we haven't really got that capitulation move yet. We need to take this peak out right here. This peak. So we need a little bit more downside. So it's obviously going to go lower. We're not going to want to buy it. And it's just trapped. It's trapped. It's trapped in a bear market of crypto. And crypto could have entered a bigger bear market than people are expecting. So it looks like that's finishing up, and probably will erase divergence. But there you go. So this is the 3, the 3, and the 3. So if this is going to happen, it's got to happen here. But if this doesn't happen, which in all honesty probably isn't going to happen given the crypto forecast, then this will just turn into an impulse. And this was a connector wave, right? The worst case scenario. Right? And then this was just a connector wave down, and we're going to finish the first W and go even lower. So, I think it's not really something I want to trade. Why would I want to fight against the current if Bitcoin is is going to be in a little bit of a longer bear market based on what I'm seeing for the time being. So I think it's just going to push lower. And again, I'm not here to give people happy talk on crypto, guys. I'm not here to make you guys feel good about crypto. I'm here to just tell you what I see in the charts. And guys, it's the Bitcoin's breaking down, and this bearish chart actually makes so much sense. I want to be proven wrong, but I would be just giving you guys happy news. Oh, it's going up, but I think it's stuck in this bigger correction. Now, when we're down here, yeah, that should hopefully end it, right? But I think it's in a bigger correction, and we actually peaked here in the major cycle, just looking at where we are. So I think crypto is going to be under pressure, and it's just the way it's been trading. Even if we run higher, I think this 3-wave move would fail at some point. That makes too much sense to me, the label. So I mean, and this makes people angry, but it's so mad, and that tells me why it's probably going to happen. Because if people are angry, that means sentiment is still too bullish, right? So people are so angry that it said it's going to go down. But hey, I've tried to stay with it as long as I could, but the weekly cycle, monthly cycles, monthly cycle's already broken down. It's already broken down. I'd be violating my own system to overlook this, right? That would be like opening up the stop loss as a trader because I hope it comes back. So I can't. So that's it. So it's in a monthly cycle decline. It's in a bear market for a while. And if this count plays out, we're going to have a big sell-off next week to get us down to 72,000. And you're going to wish you never bought any of these. Right? And then you may not be as angry as what I'm telling you right now on my channel. You'll be very happy. And this is what usually happens with people that follow me. I tell them some news they don't want. They get angry. They want to take their anger out on me on messages or whatever. And then it actually happens and they're like, "Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Oh shit." And this always happens. This happens so many times. So I don't worry about the anger anymore. So I'm not here to tell you happy talk and then ask for your forgiveness when I get it wrong, right? I could just keep giving you guys happy talk so I can gain followers and say, we're going to new highs. We're always going to new highs by the dip. And it's great, great, great. And I get all these followers and everyone loves me. And then when it doesn't happen, I just beg for your forgiveness. Oh, I was wrong. I'm human. Please, God, forgive me. but that's you should if I start doing that, you should just follow me for entertainment, for comic relief, not for anything meaningful. Okay. So that's my GSOL. Now BCHG unfortunately will whipsaw back down. I do believe that this is likely. We need to head to this area. We did break this low here. We're up in 3. It could be a flat and could make even another high, potentially at 436 and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and an A, B, C. But I believe it's going to fail and come back down for one more low. So BCHG should come back down. Okay. BCHG should come back down. And like I said, I'm not here to give, the rosy picture, but perhaps this instrument here, guys, will finish an impulse off the low, which is what it's trying, which it seems like it already did, right? And it's going to pull back and do something like this. That's what you hope for, right? Something like that. Now, this is at $2.53. That's probably around, again, I don't have the premium off the top of my head. That's probably Bitcoin Cash at like $280, $290. We're at $383. Maybe it can get down there and then, trade there, and so like that's why you can't equate it. Maybe it can hold the low. I'll tell you this, if we get down here and BCHG doesn't make a new low, you better be buying it. You better be buying BCHG like you never believed. I mean, if that actually happens. If this actually can pull back and hold this low, wow, the Bitcoin Cash makes a new low to finish it, you'd have to be stupid not to buy this. You'd have to be a dummy not to buy this. Okay, but is it likely? It's probably not likely, right? So but I'm just gonna go with the chart, right? So this is the chart I see, and we'll just go with it. Again, there could be premium, being built in. Maybe people are anticipating this thing's gonna move for some reason, and we don't have that inside information. I don't know why it's trading more favorably than these other ones. I don't know why, but it is. So we're just gonna trade the chart. And the chart says we should probably pull back soon, if not, and then if it can hold the low. Now, if it can't hold the low, then, it has a couple possibilities. It has potentially, this was 3, and this is a connector, and you have some kind of WX, and you get a Y, and then you come back to these super low areas down here. The dollar, the single digits. So single digits aren't off the table if this low breaks, but it hasn't yet. So I think we just trade this. This has been okay, right? We identified this buy on my live stream. I remember we tagged it and I said you should buy it. And guess what? I guess you should have bought it. Now you probably should take some profit, right? If you haven't already, because you went from 285 to 381, so that's a good bit. So you probably should take some profit. This is my thinking, okay? Now there's a possibility it could still be in 5. There's a possibility because the cycle hasn't ended yet. So you could still have 5. So you still could even go even higher, potentially. Okay. So what do you think? So again, I'm just kind of scanning through some of the comments as I get to the super chats. What do you think in the SPY, the cap weighted traded below January low, and the equal weight did not really come in? The cap weighted traded below the January low, and I actually look at it as that means the equal weight is going to underperform. And perhaps the cap weight goes sideways to higher, but the equal weight is the other stocks that haven't really contributed to the sell-off are going to be most susceptible to going down in the next several weeks. And we saw that with financials, right? Financials finally broke down. I think Friday. They're all freaking out on CNBC because they love the financials until they don't, right? And that's the thing. Like eventually the stuff that hasn't really been contributing to the sell-off is all going to contribute to the sell-off, and I think that happens in the next week or two. All the stuff, and then perhaps the stuff that has been really beaten up, maybe that could relief rally. Maybe it could go sideways. Doesn't, it's in wave fives. A lot of stuff hit our buy area that should be seeing some kind of rebound if it didn't already on Friday. Reverse, like there are some stocks that did that, but that's what I think. That's what I think about that. Yeah, Apple's weird. It's got a weird chart. Apple's got a weird chart right now. Again, so let's go to the big super chat. Thanks. That's a big one. I'll get through all your questions. So I can and I appreciate all the super chats, guys. And I really enjoy doing this for you. Like I said, I'm not always right, but I try to give you guys my thoughts on things. And so far, we've really nailed this correction. You have to say that this correction we've been in, we've nailed it since I started my channel, guys. I mean, so the videos are all there. The receipts are all there. If you guys don't believe what you're hearing, I wasn't given happy talk on the NASDAQ when I started my channel, and I said the triple Qs could get to this 490 area or lower, right? There was a possibility, and I said, what would happen to do that? Well, big cap tech would have to collapse, and guess what? Guess what's happened? I mean, again, I'm not here to make you all feel good about it's always new highs coming, right? Always new high. I wish it was like that. I wish I could always say the new highs were coming, but at some point, the market is going to pull back. The cycle is going to end. Not everything goes up forever. Not everything goes up forever. I wish it did. It would be so much fun if the market always went up. But unfortunately, it doesn't do that. So Verizon looks like it's trying to push up in this fifth wave, but yeah, that's not helpful. This chart is not helpful. Let's go to the weekly. It's interesting, the peak divergence is back here. Sometimes that supports a 1-2, 1-2 when that happens. So, I look at this. It's either a 1-2, 1-2 or it's this. So I think we'll go with this for now, but I wouldn't be too bearish. It looks like you came up here and 1, 2. That's like some that's your impulse. That's your first one, and now it's ready to 3 of 5 or even. So it looks like it's probably benefiting from rates going down, right? This dividend paying stock is more attractive, and it's considered what, a safe haven potentially, maybe. Yeah, see that big? So really your 3 was here. So it's probably something like a 1, 2, 3, triangle 4, 5, 3 down. Now it looks like it's trying to break out. So Verizon is bullish, okay? Everyone wants to buy Tesla. I don't think anyone wants to buy Verizon, but hey, I'd rather buy Verizon. Guys, looking at this chart. But if it's a 5, it's going to get rejected around $52, $54 and have an epic collapse. If it's not a 5, it's just going to melt through that. It's going to accelerate and take off. I would be looking to buy any pullback in this stock in 3 waves if you can get it. Okay, any pullback. Now, if it wants to do a flat, buy the flat. Buy that. If it wants to do that, that would be a gift. Okay, so I would say that's the count for now, and good luck on Verizon. IQ. All right, NASDAQ, I assume small cap. And again, we don't go near small caps if the Russell's breaking down. We just don't do it, okay? $2 billion, what is it? What sector does it trade in? Some kind of online entertainment stuff. All right, so we would say that that's the low, and we've come up. It looks like it's come up off 5 waves here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the divergence. But we don't want to get too excited because it could also be an A, B, C, right? Because this looks very impulsive. And that looks like a fifth wave that's about to end. So to me, it's going lower. It looks like this is what the count looks like to me, like some kind of ABC connector, and now we're starting a new cycle lower. It's in some kind of fifth wave here. So that means it should have a relief rally. Now this is almost too short. So it's almost too short. So let's change things up a little bit, right? It's probably better like that. But you see that bullish divergence? You normally don't see that on the 3 there. So that concerns me. It concerns me that it could be even more bearish. And it could be something like this. And then more than likely, and then this. So that's the most bearish count you could have. And that breaks. And it's game over, right? You break down, go to 0. So it looks like to me that you've got a very dangerous bearish setup there if you want to be bearish on it, right? Right? Like that. Like that. And then you break down. Something like that. So again, you'll have to decide what's best for you. I mean, but that looks pretty ugly. I bet it goes lower, especially with the Russell under pressure. Okay. All right. Material Core MP. Looking like we got that one right out of this wedge. Looks like you've broken out of this wedge in a nice manner, right? Materials was bullish. My elite members were buying the XLB, right? We're not buying the triple Qs, right? Everyone's like buying triple Qs. No, we're buying the XLB. Our elite members are buying the XLB, right? Materials. We're trying to get ahead of this shit, right? We're trying to get ahead of the game. We're trying to find out what sector is going to lead this market in the future. It's probably not tech, guys. It's probably stuff, like this material, like what I have here, as we're pushing out in a wave 3 right before your eyes. So there you go. It could be this. Too much diverge, so it's probably the count. So good luck on that. MDT, Medtronic. It's in a dangerous area right now. I think healthcare is. I think we saw Eli Lilly starting to break down finally in its final leg lower. Again, the stuff that there's going to be the stocks that we're working aren't going to work. I think is gonna catch up to the bear market. Now let's take a closer look at this and see this leg. Yeah, you see that's the 3-4. That's your 5. So this could end at any moment in a tragedy. When's earnings? Where's earnings? Okay, so not for a while. So but there you go. I mean, it's in a very dangerous area for potential reversal here. Very dangerous area. Let's look at the levels and see where the level is showing us. We're right in the, I wouldn't short this without with the, well, I mean, you could. You broke the low here. I mean, you could short this here if you wanted to. But it's not, I don't like shorting into a flat like this. Let's look at the higher time frames. It'd be nice to have no divergence on that final push. So maybe we could still maybe eke out one more little short squeeze to kind of just get the last bit of bulls out of the market. So maybe one more high is possible, just enough to erase that divergence. And then it's as susceptible for a reversal. Now, we didn't get the divergence, but it may already have peaked there. But I would have liked to see on the higher time frame more I don't want to see that much divergence. Like on the higher time frame, we need to see that's okay. The monthly's good, but it would be nice to see it on the weekly too. But this is a grand super cycle correction, so perhaps you won't see it on the weekly. You're just seeing the fifth wave. But I wouldn't just use that solely to stay in the to stay long. I would just be very defensive here and just be careful. Okay, be very careful here. Be very careful. I would just be careful. Okay. CEG. Constellation Energy. So we called that 5. That looks like that was the right call again. Not here to give you the guys, make you feel good. Now you have the 3 waves. Now see, this is what happened into the rest of the market, guys. This, to some extent, we're getting these nice 3-wave moves, but they're actually accelerating through. That's a dangerous sign. See, normally in a normal healthy bull market, we'll get a 3-wave move, and we'll find relative support here for a bounce. You're getting like this acceleration. That's not healthy, but I will say it should bounce here. We should get a bounce in this box, and more than likely, whatever bounce you get here will fail for one more low, and it's probably somewhere around there is what you're going to end up with. Now, if we just accelerate down, then that's anytime you accelerate down and extend, then you're likely the bounce will fail. That's typical. But I look at this as if this is the full cycle correction, we need to get, this is too shallow. But it is a viable dip. You get a reaction, you could sell it for profit, then put your stop at the low. Because you just never know. But see, this corrected the whole thing. So, but it should bounce, right? You should get this bounce, right? That's what we expect, right? But it's not looking too good because it's going deeper and deeper, and if we go through it, then you're looking at 162. So it's got to bounce here, but I think that bounce, whatever happens, will fail. Okay, COF, Capital One. Let's see, Capital One. Again, just kind of getting my bearings on it. So yeah, let's go back, get rid of some of these. Let's just kind of take a step back here. So we are pushing up in a 5th wave of the grand super cycle in Capital One. So we're pushing up in that 5th wave. So the market's on borrowed time. I mean, if I just step back and look at this wave, it looks like that's a 4, right? It looks like it should get one more high. I mean, technically it doesn't have to. Now, if you look, you are correct in this. You're right where it needs to find support. Look, you're right there. If you break that, then the 5 is in. The 5 is in. Okay, but it can make another high. So I think given what I see now, I'll show maybe one more high, but I wouldn't be surprised if that doesn't happen. I wouldn't be surprised if that doesn't happen and you don't get this high and it's already peaked. It looks like a flat like the rest of the market. Most of these stocks are in flats here, and it looks like it peaked in 3 here. You're in some flat in 4 that needs to finish an impulse down. And you're at the 3 of 3. So you need a 4 and a 5. So it looks like it should continue lower. Do something like that. That's what I'm thinking now. But again, if we break that trend line I showed earlier, and we break this line, then the five's in. So I'm not trying to catch. I would not be trying to catch a falling knife, but I would be very defensive because it could easily have already peaked, and we're just off by a swing. So we need to be careful. But it looks like more downside's coming. So for short opportunities, okay. So looking at the back part of your comment, I think Medtronic represents a potential one. Verizon, no way. I would not short that. IQ looks like a good opportunity, but I would wait for any kind of intraday rally to do that, to try to play that. Break down MP. No way. Would not short that. Medtronic, yes. CEG. Not where it is now. Actually, this would be a counter trend buy opportunity. And COF, I wouldn't short it. It's too late. Shorting would have happened when you broke that low there. You could have shorted on that too. That would have been the trade set up to short. But that's over. You missed that move. You won't have it. And then if you try to short this bounce, what if you're in five? So there's no short here. There's no short set up yet. Medtronic shows the best area because this could actually be done here. You could short and close it out at 95. I mean, very low risk, massive high reward if this is right. Okay, but if it isn't, five will extend higher like I showed you. So this is probably the best short opportunity out of all of them right now. But it's not like perfect. It's not like a perfect on a silver platter short opportunity, but I think it represents the best opportunity at this given time. Okay. All right, XRP. Let's see how that's doing. So XRP, we let the market decide for us. We're not going to just flip, perma bear on every crypto because I have Bitcoin going down. But I will say that, like we talked about before, if XRP breaks 169, you're going to get a bigger connector, and it will drop. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It will drop, and the next area that you would expect it to get to, if it were to break that, would be 131.91 cents or lower. So if we look at this here, you have again 3 up, and the market's confused. It doesn't know. So this is called an indecisive area, especially with Elliott wave count, because we could easily be in an X wave here, right, and really fool a lot of traders, right? Because this could be, again, if I didn't know anything about Bitcoin, I could easily just do something like this and call that finished, and it pumps easily, right? So, but I could also just as equal do something like this. So we won't know. I think this comes into play if this line breaks, more than likely. So watch that, or we start breaking that low right there at 220. So until then, I think the market is indecisive here. It's like, two poker players evenly matched. In both, no one's given any ground yet. No one showed any weakness. The bulls and the bears have not shown any weakness in this chart, and I would just say it's like you should just hold. Don't stop yourself out. I would just hold it. And let the market tell you it's time to go. And the first sign would be breaking that low. That'd be the first sign of weakness in the defense of the bulls of XRP. It would show that they may be losing firepower. Okay. All right. Next, ETH. So ETH has been one that we've been looking at, and I'll say that we want it lower. We've broken this low, by the way. Okay, that's technically significant in my system. That's not to be ignored. Again, we're not changing the rules just because I want to feel good. Now, here I have it in a fifth wave. This could be a lot of things. Like I could still be in two, and pump back up. I mean, not only that, we broke the low again here. We broke this low. So I'll give you the worst case setup. The most likely count is something like this, and then we'll finish up somewhere down here in this colored box for wave two. And again, it was a flat all along. 3, 3, 5. But remember with flat, if it if it accelerates down and erases divergence, this becomes a 1, 2, and then this box goes away, and then you go to unthinkable targets. But for now it's a 5, so it's a 5. Okay, let's go to this other one. That's a new one I haven't had anyone ask me about. Grock. Grock Tether, Grock USDT. Okay. Again, if I just look at this chart, it just looks like a big ass descending triangle ready to break down. Right? That's what it looks like to me. But descending triangles need to start from the top, but we don't have that. So we're not going to put too much weight, but that's what it looks like. I mean, that's what the chart looks like. Now, this looks like a flat here, so I'm going to try to label it the best way I could. We have a 1 and we're in a 2, and then this is some kind of flat here that came down, came up, and is coming down, and we need 5 waves down to finish the flat. Right? Looks like you have a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5, right? But you see what happened? You erase divergence. See, that's a tricky thing about trading, right? I use the RSI to help guide my wave count. So I would also label that as a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 5. So as you can see, it's going to push lower. We're going to break this low more than likely, and then continue down with the impulse until it's finished. So I would be looking for more downside here. Let's see if we can get a better label on it. Again, these kind of charts are it's very tough to get it, but we could still be in 4 potentially, but I'd be looking for something like that, lower, and then maybe it can survive it. Maybe it can survive it. Okay, SCHD, a Schroeder Equity Fund. Okay, let's see what's going on with that. I guess we've looked at that before. I'm not sure if it reverse split or what it did, but we'll have to do it again. I don't know what happened there. Okay, let's see. Peak, that's your 3. That's a full cycle. So this is a boom, boom, 1, 2 right there, right? Don't need to spend a lot of brain cells doing the sub-labeling on that. Now, here's another 3. There's your another 5, and you come down, right? But you didn't take that peak out. So again, you could do this and be very bearish, right? And go, oh, it's almost finished, it's going to crash. But I don't think that's the right way to count that. Something like this. And then this probably did something like this. Or maybe that's 4. Let's see. Now see how that peak is? That's so strong. And then it starts to fade, and now it's starting to collapse here. Yeah, I'd have to label it this way. But I wouldn't put 3 here. So I'd probably put another 1, 2. So it's likely to go into a bear market with the less of the market. It probably could come back to 24.57 or even lower. Um, but whenever it comes out of it, it should really explode out whenever this is done. Now, the first area should find support. Let's take a look here. 1, 2. So 5 is there. 1 is there. It would be nice to get another swing lower. So yeah, I mean, you want to get another. You would like to get another swing lower, but if it doesn't, let's take a look here. Looks like 5 off that low. Looks like 5 off that low. That's it seems just too bullish for me. So or is this all big extended fifth wave? Three, 4. No, I see. I can't do that either. I have to label it this way. I think this is the tricky part right here. This part right here of the label. We took divergence out here, so we're gonna go with something a little different here. Something like that, and then we finish. That's what I'm thinking. I think that's probably what I had above before I erased it. I think to me that makes more sense. But you see the divergence there. The only other possibility is this is 3, that's 4, and this is 5, and it's peaked. It's already peaked, but I wouldn't put this as 3. So I think we'll go back to this. I think this is tough. I think it's 1. I think we're in 2. I don't know how it's going to play out. I think it's too bullish to say it's finished, but you do have 5 up. So maybe it's going to meander around here, do something like this, where this comes up as A, B, C, and it does a flat, right? Everything loves to do a flat these days, and then it just kind of does something like that. That would be more believable. And then we come back to this wave 4 area. So that would be more believable, something like that. I think this counts a little bit more challenging, but I think that's what we have to go with for now. We have to go with that for now. All right, I'm gonna get rid of that. So yeah, good luck trading it. I mean, but I think it's gonna do something like that. I can't. I think it's too bullish to be too. Now the worst case scenario, right? The worst case is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is finished. The whole grand super cycle's over. It does this flat, and then it comes all the way back down to 19 down here. But it won't matter at that point. The labeling won't matter. Okay, good luck on that. And then AMD. AMD, I'm still looking to push lower with semiconductors. Not ready to call that over yet, and just kind of looking at it. Again, we called the peak in the grand super cycle long time ago on my channel, long time ago, and that's what's played out, a massive bear market. And now we got this 3 and 3, and now we've been in this tight wave down. Everyone's hoping for a relief rally. It just doesn't happen. So I have an ABC, and the impulses just keep extending and extending and extending because we're waiting for that capitulation moment. We need that capitulation moment, and it just is. we're finally getting there. You see how we erased divergence here? You see that peak? It took out all those peaks. So now we're starting to get into a wave three finally after all this time. So maybe the better way to label that is put the 3 there for now. Maybe that's the first 3. But as you can see, we have a lot more 3s and 4s to play out. And our channel actually had the short here at 174, right? While everyone was buying it, we short that there. It looks like 69.21. Again, I'm not here to give you the happy talk, guys. I'm here to just tell you what it says. And I've been saying that, and it just keeps going down, and people still don't believe it. I mean, eventually, when people get to $75, when it gets down here, people will be able. They'll be like, "Wow, I believe it now." But that's what this count is showing. And actually, there's your wave 4. We just had a massive wave 5. Look, a blow off top. We're gonna probably lose that whole wave 5 at some point, no matter what happens here. The only hope you could try is this morphs into some other structure and it starts to have a bigger rally. Then you'll have some kind of W, X, Y, and then it'll bounce and just fail again later. I think eventually we come down here. Okay, IQ, already covered that. Just covered that here. And I don't think I want to buy that. I want nothing to do with that. Now, if it could rally back up, maybe you short it up. Maybe you short it at $4 if it tags this trend line. You see this trend line, downtrend line. Maybe you could tag that and short it. But again, it could be erratic here. There's a lot of ways, but I think ultimately it's going to resolve lower. Are you still bullish? Yeah, I'm still definitely bullish. Long term on the market, of course. The market will come out of whatever is about to happen and go into a massive bull market. Amazon will do the same, but the problem is big cap tech has so much space to correct. That's what's going to do the damage. That's the reason we're in this predicament right now. They pumped it way too much, guys. Off of this low, $80, we came up to 242. There's a lot of room to correct. A lot of room. A lot of white space here. A lot of white space. And we could still be very bullish in the future. But that may be years later, though. I know everyone wants this to happen now and go vertical now. But I don't think that's going to happen like that. I mean, I just don't see it playing out. So my count on Amazon is this now. And we'll pull them back in 2. We should see. I've been saying that the first buy opportunity for a real substantial relief rally, or maybe bottom, is here, but it's likely this bounce will fail at least for one more low as this plays out. So again, we know that wave 3 will eventually come because Amazon's not going out of business, not that I know of. And I believe you'll get a W, you'll get a big X. Everyone's gonna be happy, 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 and then one more low. And then that'll probably be it. That'll probably be the end. There's your wave 4. Poly's coming back to 151 at some point, or a little lower. So that's probably where it's going. So I think this is what I look at Amazon. And then at some point, whenever this ends, however long it takes, wave 3 is born, and it gets and a new bull market. That's all that's happening here. Okay, that's what's going to happen here. So it seems like it's due for a bounce. Now, looking at this count here, there's another alternative count here. I have it like this. I can easily tweak this a little bit and make this some kind of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I can make this big A. Instead of having a W here, I could put this and make this A. Right, if I can do it right, get rid of that. I could get, forget this for a minute. You make it an impulse, and then you bounce big and B, and then multi-month, chop, day trader battles, and then at some point later in the year you get C. So that supports the big, like, yeah, like Friday was the great buy opportunity of a lifetime, as some people think. There, if that plays out, that's what's going to turn into. So if this turns into an A, and this becomes the buy, oh, that was the buy of a lifetime Friday, it's likely to fail somewhere around 222, 224. But we don't know. So I'm showing you, like, so far though, there's no reason to think that that's going to happen. But we'll know next week if we're going to get this final push and flush, and then another sustainable rally, of course, or it's just going to do it now and it turns into A, and then we have B, and then C comes later. Oh, you meant JUP. Okay. Yeah, sure. JUP. All right. JUP. Let me see what I think I have this already charted. So like most of the market, it broke. See how when it broke that low, it ruined the bull case, right? Because now it's going to turn another leg lower. It has to hold 43 cents. Now see, you have three, and you have three, and now you have three. So the problem you really have, one is you haven't really taken out the divergence yet. You need to, and two, the distance, right, is pushes you to retest that low. So it's likely to break. So again, looking at the count, we're probably moving in three waves. So the best way to trade it is to just look at it from a three-wave standpoint. And so the next area to buy it is at 14.3. So it's probably going right there. And then you should get a pretty good rally. That may take it to new highs. It very well could. It could, but it may not. Right? It may not. So it could do something like this, where this was 1, 2, and then you go to new highs. But I think that's where we're headed. I think that's where it's heading now. Okay, something like that. I'll be looking for 14. This 14.34 for at least a rally and three waves. Is Geo still a bullish setup? Let's look at that. Okay, not familiar. I don't really watch that one. It is in our buy area, like it's in our buy area, but it looks like we came down. Coming down in an impulse. So it's you're going to get a relief rally. So I mean, you could have already got that. Could have been B right there. That could have been the reaction. You see how it hit the box and it reacted? I think that's probably it right there, and it's going down another leg right now. So that's how quick the market you got to be when you get those reactions. When we have those buys, you get that reaction. You got to take some profit because we're seeing them just break down consistently. So now the next area is down here, right? This is the more bearish forecast. Now we could still move around and be erratically, but it's likely to fail. And in fact, I would start to short that if it came back up here because we broke the low like we did here. So I'm giving this like the worst case scenario, and it wouldn't be a 4 anymore. I don't think. I think it'd become another 1, 2. Let's look. I don't know. Maybe it could hold up. It still has some room to go. It could turn into this. Another 1, 2. Right, something like that. But wonder if it could be a flat against this high. I think it's too extended. Yeah, too extended to be a flat against that high. Yeah, I think what we'll do, I think the way if it comes all the way down here, I think we have to call that another 1-2 of some kind. This would be the ABC 1, 2, 3, or it did this. You know what? Maybe this is what it is, and it was just a massive extended fifth, which is why it's coming down so far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or this fifth wave so extended. You get 4 here, and then you get 5. But see how you have no divergence there, so that doesn't work either. So I'm going back and forth with the count. So I think the best count for it is a 1-2. If it were to come down here, ideally it should have made a 5. It didn't. So I would say we have to go with like a 1-2, 1-2. There's no other really count that works until we get more data. Or you know what? Were we a flat off of this high? That may change it. Let's take another look. Maybe that's what it is. Oh, way too far. No, that won't work. Okay, I tried to give you the most. I looked at it in several different ways. It seems like it's going to go lower. Now, if we can pump in B and move B higher, then the target goes higher. So for now, it's that. But if B can come up in an ABC, then the target can come up, which would be bad. Then we could go back to 4-wave. Then we'll go back to the 4-wave on that. All right, UNG. Again, I don't trade natural gas, but I gotta imagine it's gonna get beat down with oil. I mean, that's what I would think. But let's again, I don't like to trade it, so I'm still looking for this impulse and then a massive calamity in the energy market. And let's take a look at where we are with it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. 1, 2. 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's the count. So that's the count. Now 5 could easily extend a little more, and you want C to go higher. So more than likely, this is probably what's going to happen. Something like that. Okay, I think that's what we'll get. I think that's what you're going to get. Let's look at the natural gas market. I don't, like I said, I don't trade natural gas, but yeah, kind of the same count. But you see, it broke the high, so it's going to go higher. Yeah, so higher. So I think natural gas has got more upside coming. But I think it's unless it can erase divergence, I think it's going to be short-lived, and then that comes. All right, Lilly. Again, I think we started to see it make its reversal. The final leg lower. That's what, but it's way too early to know for sure. Let's see here, Lilly, somewhere in here. There it is. Yeah, see? So that's probably the reversal. So we'll be looking for 676.69. With that kind of reversal, look, 3 waves. Any pop below this can be shorted below 938. So if it wants to pop back up to 914, short it against 939, and you probably do okay. Um, so yeah, I think that's probably it. Now, if it could take that high out, then you have to say the low's in, the low's in. Okay, but that anytime you see a reversal that's that sharp, that's usually a sign that it's ready to roll to the downside. But again, let's give it another week or so of data to see how it plays out. But that's not looking good. It's not looking good. But this is kind of what we were thinking, and we would come down here in Grand Super Cycle Wave 4. Right, this is Super Cycle Wave 4 for one more high. Now, I mean, it could be already done, right? It is possible, right? It does something like this. I can't rule it out. I didn't think it was likely. And then you make a 5 right there, and then the grand super cycle's over. So so you can decide. I say that one more low. I think it's one more low. All right. IQ is a Chinese stock. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I know it does. There's a lot of unusual things like a lot of bearishness with the candles, and there's so much anomalies that people are starting to see, and it's concerning a lot of people out there because we're starting to see things we haven't seen before. Wolf, never heard of that one. Let me see here. Oh, Petco. Okay, I didn't know that was its symbol. Looks like we got that buy right there. Nailed that. Now we're in C. Now C end it, and then we took the high out. So that's good. That's good. It could be an impulse. Yeah. We're not gonna label it as an impulse, but we're gonna label it as three waves until we get more clarity. But yeah, I'll be looking for another high. We're right in the area where it should reverse. Let's look at this count though. If that's a flat, 3, 3. So you'd like to see some divergence. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you had another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3. So the box is, it's hard to time flats with these boxes, but I think it needs to make some bullish. It needs a low with bullish divergence against this peak, and then it could find support. But I think it'll make another run for it. This should make another run for it. Okay. All right, and yeah, I think this one's a good one, and we'll want to keep our eye on that one. We're gonna keep our eye on that one. So we're gonna add that one will be something we'll keep our eye on for sure. We'll keep our eye on that one. All right, good luck on that. All right, SPGI, S&P Global. Have it finish in this fifth wave in 3. Let's see. Again, we were just playing around on that. Let's take a look at where we are. Not sure why I had that there. So there's a lot of ways to label this part of the wave, right? I could do that. Well, actually, probably needs one more high. Yeah, see, that's a 3. See how that peak took them all out? So that's a 3. The 3 is here. So it probably needs one more swing. It looks like to me you need one more swing. And then 3 should peak. And you get a big pullback. Now, if it just keeps going lower, then we'd have to say that it was like 4 and 5 like that. This 3 peaked here, and then this is an A, B, and it's a flat. Okay, we'd be targeting down at, but see that would overlap with the 1, so it'd become a 1, 2, so it'd go deeper. So again, you're at the. It looks like you're at the end of a cycle, right? You're at the end of a cycle here, and it's easy to be off by a swing. So I wouldn't get caught up in the labeling, but I think you're coming to an end, and you'll have a bigger correction coming soon. That's going to take more time, equivalent to something like that. Did you see the request for BTU? BTU. Let me see. I didn't see it. Let me go back. If I missed it, I apologize. I must. Oh, yeah, I did. Sorry about that. Yeah. So BTU. BTU will have its day in the limelight again. Energy will, right? Fundamentally, we know that that's going to happen, right? With all the onshoring that's going to be coming back, but that's a little ways out. It is in our area where we need to start to think about acquiring, accumulate, buying it. But I do want to point out you had this big sequence here in W, a big sequence in X. Well, you don't even have a bounce yet, so you could be very susceptible here to something like an A, a B, and a C. And you come lower, so just be careful. The sweet spot of this, when I look at this, is right at the 743, 762 area. Okay, so just understand that while the box is here, and again, I could force anything, right? It can end the correction at any moment. That's why we have the box. That's why we should buy something. But I wouldn't be surprised if it comes lower. So you have to be very smart about adding positions here. But because we're 5 off the low, we should make another 5 off this high in the future. But when this ends specifically, it's tough to say. And we could even get a reaction and come back down, given what I just showed you here and here, because you don't really have it. But there's no rule that says you need to. So you're at $12, right? We weren't FOMOing in. We didn't buy the connector. So if you're buying it at $12, consider yourself very lucky, because we avoided buying it all up in here. We had waited and waited, and now here we are. The best entry is right here, but that's a big loss still. So I think you'll have to decide what's your conviction about owning this, and do you have like a fundamental driver that says that this thing's going to really take off, or are you just trying to trade it? If I was just trying to trade it, I don't think I'd want to buy this. If I was an investor in coal and I believe in it, it's an American thing, and there's going to be coal burn, people are going to be burning coal everywhere, there'll be smoke all over because manufacturing's coming back and there's no energy. Then you want to buy, you won't care. You'll buy some here and here and here, and then you'll be like sitting pretty. So that's how I look at this setup. But I think consider yourself like getting it at $12 very fortunate, because you avoided a lot of loss. But I think it could still go lower though. Broadcom, I do have charted, and I believe the bounce we're in is a connector that will fail. Yeah, Petco's weird. Petco, you would think would be influenced more by the Russell, but it does. It looks like its investors are taking over, right? Because it made a new high. you know, it made a new high. It didn't break down. Like you again, the Russell is just, you know, it's not to say we could find an outlier here or there. I mean, but if you look at it, obviously it's getting destroyed. But maybe when the Russell finally has a counter trend rally, because the Russell's going to bounce at some point, maybe this will bounce way out of proportion. Like, I don't know. Right, but so I have the Russell needing like one more swing low or something like that, I think. Or where do I have the Russell at? I forget here. Yeah, I have it. I gave it this more bearish count today. But it could still be, maybe it's a 1, 2, maybe it's a 3, 4, and 5, and then you come up more. I don't know. Or maybe this 2 could come back up to 220, and Petco can finish. Maybe Petco outperforms. I don't know. I don't really care, honestly. I just look at the chart. But yeah, I think, you know, I think I'm okay. I'm okay with that one, but not like buying it here. I wouldn't buy it here. I would still wait for a sign of a reversal. So like if I wanted to buy Petco, the way I would look at that is I would wait, you get the bullish divergence, and then I would probably wouldn't try to just bottom ticket. I would wait for a bounce, a reversal, right? And then once I start seeing that reversal, breaking the downtrend, then I'll start to get more interested to get a safer entry against the low. But I'm not. But that's how I play it, because I mean it could just go lower, right? It could still go lower. It could even become a big flat. Like I'm sorry, a big flat here. It could even do something like this, right? We've talked about this where it goes A, B, and C, and B breaks these lows, becomes a penny stock, and then comes out. So we don't know. But I'm just showing you the count. You know, I just traded it like that. So I don't want to give up on all stocks, right? We need to still buy something, because there are relief rallies, and there could be, you know, bigger you know, some stocks will trade better, you know, and again, the market could bottom, and we want it. You can't be bearish everything. So my elite members, we are buying, and all our members, we're buying things. We're not like shorting everything. We're buying mostly. So we profit from any kind of relief rally or bounce in the indices, but we're buying the stocks at the right moment at the right time. The indices just aren't giving us those kind of setups. They were, you know, and we tried to play them, and we got little bounces out of them, but you know, we do want to be on the long side of the equation mostly. We look to buy things that have been trending bullish, and we'll buy like Spotify on Friday, you know, those things. But if the market's stopping us out, the market's too weak. But if the market were to bounce, we're in the right things that should benefit from any kind of bounce. So we're not going to be left behind, but we're buying things in good setups that help bail us out in case, you know, the market doesn't you know, rally that hard, right? So I think our system's doing okay. But in fact, we probably don't have enough short entries, and that'll be something I'm looking at, you know, for our update tomorrow. Are there opportunities, you know, out there that should short, that we should try to really maybe be a little more aggressive, but we've come a long way down. So you wouldn't want to short this here. It's too late. but maybe there's something that hasn't sold off yet that's starting to pull back, that we can maybe try to be more aggressive on. Oh, is that right? Needed for steel production. Didn't know that. See, there's always a fundamental driver, right? There's always a fundamental driver. Home Depot. I have it peaked in, I think, the grand super cycle, in turning down. So this one could be one to short, right? Because it hasn't really dropped yet. We have it peaked in the grand super cycle. And that means now you're only down in 3, right? So we actually had to buy here. Now look what happened. Home Depot hit it exactly and wicked. So that's the reaction. I call that a reaction. So if you bought it at 369 and got the reaction, or it goes a little higher, you should take some profit because it could fail. Now, we can't do anything with this. You can't buy it here. What's probably going to happen here? This is what I think is going to happen. That's probably going to happen. That's what I think is going to happen. Right? It's going to do that, and it's going to come down and do that, and it's going to do that. It's going to come all the way back down to 252 somehow. But I think you're getting the reaction in X. I think that's where it is right now. It seems like it should bounce more. But what we're seeing in the market is these bounces, like they bounce in like 24 hours, they bounce up and then they just collapse and they just collapse again. So we're seeing these cycles play out a lot faster. So I'm showing you like this, but it could easily just come down and collapse, and then this is already in. So tough to say, but I think it's peaked. Let's look at the higher time frames to see if we have any confirmation. So we don't have confirmation on the weekly or the monthly. So no confirmation yet. So wave 5 could extend, but when that line breaks, the grand super cycle is over. It's over. So there is a possibility that it extends, or 5 extends. So it could extend. It could extend. So that's why I wouldn't short it here. If you went long here at 376, I'd put your stop at 369. But highly, it's not the setup I want. I would have had my limit order right there at 369, and it would have got filled, and boom, profit. And then I would have moved my stop and had basically a zero risk trade, zero risk entry. That's how I would have traded it. All right, Wolf. Wolf is basically not something I want to be in, but let's take a look at it. I think I gave people warning about this one. Let's take a look. So we've been following this impulse down. That looks like you're 4 there. Looks like you're in some kind of 5. Definitely a 5. It looks like only 3 down. I wonder if you're still in 4. You could still be in 4. That'd be really really destructive, right? Could do that. So you could still be in 4. The other account is more bearish, and it's turning into ended diagonal. And then it ends. So that's the other account. Let's go with that one. I think that one's probably the most likely count. All right. And then again, either the company goes bankrupt and goes out of business, or it is one of the best opportunities to ever invest in it. So there it is. Man, what happened to this company? Like, what did they do wrong? I don't know much about them, but we've been following them for a while, man. It just what happened to this company? Just completely fell apart. All right, next one is VONOVA on Xterra. There it is. So looks like a big flat. A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. Right? That's what it looks like. This looks like I'm worried that this is an ABC connector, because if this is a flat, you don't want it to, you want to see some bullish divergence there, and you're not seeing that. So that's concerning. One, two, one, two, three, four, five. So that's three down. Okay, so it's a little bit different count. So it's something like, and then you come up in five. One, two, three, four, five. So you have this a connector. So we could project a target. So this has a viable setup. Right here, $24, $22. So that's a buy setup right there, and that should stay supported, and that should hopefully take you to new highs. Okay, how much further downside? There it is, 24.18. You're like a dollar or so away. I think you'll get a strong bounce now. Yeah, you have 1, 2, 3. You have 1, 2, 3. So it's in the final push lower. There's your wave 4. The sweet spot could be at 22.57. So it could, like I said, somewhere in this area is what you want to see tagged. All right. NBIS. All right. So crash correction. 5, 5. So it's moving corrective, like this corrective style. Let's see here. So I think this is how I label it. Again, I'm just trying to make sense of this. It's not a lot of data, but something like that. Again, not perfect, but you get the idea. And then it finishes, and it's a crash correction. So this will has to hold 1460. That's your 3. And then you come down, there's your wave 4. That'd be a perfect setup there for another 1, 2. Man, this thing loves to crash. When it corrects, it just crashes. It's got to be brutal. Look, I mean, very important level. So it could be a flat into still. If it is, it's gonna go a little bit lower. It should go a little bit lower, down to 1824. So it could, if it's a flat, but it also could even be a 1, 2, 1, 2. So we just don't know. It looks like, to me, that looks like 5 waves there, which would negate the flat. But you see how you kind of ended on that peak. Again, it's not precise, but you have a little bit of divergence there, but that's not enough to say, oh, it's a flat and it's all good. So I think it could be a flat, or there's a possibility of a more bullish setup, but I think it's supported. No matter what happens here, it's going to be supported for more upside. Okay. REI reversal point. So the reversal point could actually be right here, like right here, right now. I would be looking for the break of this cycle, and you're starting to get it. You're starting to get it. So it's either here, but if you don't get it and you break down and you break this low, it's that lower target I had earlier. All right, REI. Ring Energy. So that's 5 up, 5 down. So it looks like it's in an ABC correction of some kind. I probably finished there. Or here. Again, looks like a flat correction. Another one. And then it's in a flat. It's probably a fifth wave. Now we are taking divergence out. So it's extending in C. So it looks like it's going to go lower. So that's not encouraging, but it's probably going to do something like that. One, two, one, two. Yeah, so it's got more downside. So it's hard to say what the target is. It's got to stay below above 42 cents, but it looks like it's going to head lower. It's in some kind of flat correction. That's what it looks like to me. It's the only count that works. If that isn't a flat, then it's in a corrective move and it's going to break the lows. And again, you could make the argument maybe. Let's see here. No, it reversed right where you expect the flat. So I'm going with the flat. It could very well be an ABC though, and then it could be a corrective structure, and we'll break this low and just kind of fade away. So it doesn't matter the count, but you have to finish this impulse, and unfortunately you're racing divergence here, so it's going to extend. So I think that it's probably going lower, and I wouldn't be surprised if it comes back to retest these lows. Okay, DG. Dollar General. All right, so Dollar General, probably the grand super cycle ended there. There's my chart. I knew I had this one done. So it is in our area for accumulation. It looks like it's reversing. Looks like we're finally coming out of this thing. Let's see here. Yeah, we're finally coming out. Probably actually the 4 is there. Just off the label a little bit. So yeah, Dollar General is coming out of potentially a massive bear market, and could be this, and get a big pullback. So be careful chasing it. You could do that, but I like to buy that if it comes back down to 69 and does something like that. I'd like to buy that, but it may not do that. It may already be ready for wave 3. Again, it's like a defensive play, but I heard that someone want to try to take it over too or something. So I think it's in takeover chatter. But I think that correction's over. All right, FO. Let's look at FO here. Okay, FO is an oil and gas play, you're saying. Canada, Falcon Oil and Gas. Well, I mean, the chart's not like, how high can it go? I mean, if this is the chart, I don't really see it even, I don't even see it moving higher, right? It looks like it broke this low here, or just about retest it. I mean, if anything, it looks like it's going to go lower, not even higher. I mean, unless I'm looking at the wrong symbol, but it looks like to me, I mean, what has to happen is we have to finish, we have to finish this sequence. So you have to assume you're moving in some kind of three-wave increment, right? To assume bullishness. You have to assume you're doing something like that, or an ABC. Okay? We have to assume we're in some kind of ABC. And that means we need an ABC down before it can pump again. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's your first A. There's your B, and now you're in another C. So the question is C done somewhere around here? And you have to try to label it. But labeling it, something like this is very, very difficult. But I'll try. So that's your wave 3. So your wave 3 is yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you probably finished it there, and then you just made another connector of some kind. And then you have to go down in another ABC from this point. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, A, B, C. I think that lines up with our energy forecast. And then, if the company still exists after that sequence is done, then you should get something like one of these candles, that or that. And you should technically, again, the technicals, if we look, A hit, somewhere between the 2 and the 168, so you would expect a similar extension. $10. So that's it. So if it can survive and not go out of business as a company after this is done, it may see a spike up to $10. So I hope that answers your question. All right, now Tesla and the energy craziness. And I do think oil will be in over $200 a barrel at some point, maybe in the next 5 to 8 years, somewhere like that. Could maybe be sooner than that. So that's probably when this thing really takes off. Now Tesla, we nailed that for our group members, our pro members. Was one of our first trades we gave my pro group when everyone was buying all the happy talk. We shorted Tesla right here. This was a trade I gave everybody to short this right there. There's people sleeping good at night. They're short Tesla from 1303, and look, it's just melting down. And again, a lot of people were angry with these forecasts, guys. We even bought it here. We actually bought Tesla here and played that pump. And then it failed. Once we failed, we knew it would go lower. And I said, the worst case scenario, if this plays out, if this wants to play out, is down at 200. And essentially that's where it's going. That's where it's going. Now, I think this was an old chart I was playing with here. So I'm not sorry, I was playing with this chart earlier. So let me go back. So the labeling I have here right now is something like this. Something like that. So that's what I'm looking for. But you can't rule out. So that's what I've been going with. I've been going with this. And I've been saying this since we broke the low, and it's just it's materializing before our face. Again, people are angry because they want it to go higher. They want Elliott Wave Sage to say it's just going higher and higher. And when I say no, we broke the low, it should go lower. They don't want to hear it. I show like this target down here. They think I'm stupid. They cancel their membership. They hate it. But now look, now they're starting to believe. It's like, oh my God. Can I rejoin your membership? Maybe I should. See, again, guys, I'm not just trying to tell you guys what to say something to make you feel good. And guys, there's guys all on the internet that are like, buy calls here. No, buy them here. No, buy them here. Buy them here. Right now, you heard them on Friday. I'm buying them here because it's going to 3, 4. I mean, when are they going to give up? When are you going to give up? I mean, that's a gambler trader. That's the gambler trader. We were very technical. We bought here, nice rise. We shorted here, nice fall. We're very technical. Guess what? We're going to buy. If we come down here and we really finish this sequence in Tesla, we are buying. I'm buying TSLL. This right there. That's what I'm buying. Right there, guys. TSLL. That's what I'm buying. If we come down here, if that actually happens. Now, what I would say, well, I'll say there's another account, and this is what I was trying to show this earlier, is that, and I won't get rid of this count, but what it could also be is a higher degree correction, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you get a 5, right? A 5, and this is moving in threes and threes and threes, and then it bounces, and then it fails again later. Which then you have to start talking that Tesla's in a massive flat from the all-time peak, and that would be the worst, most destructive chart that we'd ever experience if that happens. And what I mean by that is this chart. If we're in a flat from the peak, this is an A, a B, and yeah, you see it comes all the way down to retest 103 or even break it slightly. So we gotta be careful. The further we go without any relief rally of substance, the more likely the flat plays out. Now here's our weekly chart. That line better hold, or the flat, or I'm going to call it a flat, guys. I don't care. Again, I'm not here to make you feel good. I'm here to tell you how it is. Now look at the monthly chart. We haven't broke it yet, but if we break that, I'm calling the flat off that peak. No one wants to hear it, but that's what. So I'm sure I'll get 3 or 4 cancellations and nasty grams when I do that. But that's what's going to happen. And then when we're trading down here, they'll be like, oh shit, I guess I should have paid more attention. Because it's a surprise that investors will just hold the stock until it goes to zero, essentially, without taking action, because they're frozen. They're like frozen in fear. But here we're short. If you guys are short here, I think it'd probably be prudent to definitely cover it here, because we got to get a relief rally. If we come down here, we got to get a relief rally. I'd be just shocked to just break through that. That would even shock me. But if this is the count, again, if this is the count, and there's no reason for me to change this count, right? There's no reason to change it. We're this, and then this could be a couple things. This could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we bounce again. Could be a 1, 2, 1, 2. I just don't know. We're just waiting. Let's let it play out. So we'll just leave it like that for now and see what happens. Okay, we'll see what happens. I don't count it that way unless we could erase divergence. So the problem we got in Tesla is all this divergence. Let me show you here the 4-hour, right there. You see that? A Z count needs, that doesn't support a Z count. Now, if we erase divergence, yeah, maybe we could come all the way down here and capitulate and erase divergence, and perhaps we could call it the low. And I would, and I think that's where I got rid of the line, but I think that's where I would put the 2 here, if that happened. But you can't call that a Z looking like this. If we end it here, we would call that 5 waves down, A, B, C. If we end it, and if anyone's calling that a Z, they're not even following their own system. Like the daily is still even has divergence. See, again, these are traders or chartists that are essentially moving the stop loss because they're too bullish, because they've let the bull market, pollute their judgment, because it's been so bullish for so long, they just refuse to believe that something like this can happen. But it's happening. Look, we came from 488 to 253 in like a couple months here. I mean, it's happening. I mean, damn. But a lot of traders, they'll change their system to make the data work for them. But I don't have it as a Z, guys. Not yet. I can't. Now, if we could capitulate down, take that out, then yeah. I would change it around a little bit potentially. But Not right, not with this look. If anything, it's a fifth wave. But again, I'm not. I'm just labeling it. Just leaving it for now. This I'm leaving it like this, and I look using this as my main connector. It also looks too big to be Z because usually Z is short, like W if it's Z, and this is getting too extended. So that's why it's probably a whole nother leg. That's another reason. Yeah, I think every bounce is tricky because it gets people excited. This one even got me excited because we made a lot of money so quick. I was like, damn, we did it. We nailed the entry in, and then it failed. And so you're like, shit, we stopped out. But now you see why you stop out, right? Just look at it now. Uh, I will show Litecoin is kind of just just to do that because I know you guys want to see that. So Litecoin, I'm still bullish. You have two. You hit the buy area. Now, if this low breaks, it could turn into a fifth wave. I think a fifth wave down. Yeah, that's what I would call it. Fifth wave down, and then it would morph into a flat, an A, a B, a C, and then you'd be looking for the $60 area. It's probably likely that's what's going to happen given the rest of crypto. But for now, we don't we don't we let the market tell us, and then once we break 93.68, then we'll have to go to a more bullish, bearish forecast on that, guys. All right, guys. Yeah, CIEN. I usually, like I said, it's $5 a super chat, but I did, I'll look at a couple things, and then I'm out of here. I got to get off. But I don't know what this company does. I've never heard of them. It is building off the low. That's nice. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1, 2. So it looks like you got a 1, 2, 1, 2 setup. You have the divergence, so I don't think it's corrective. So I think it's something like this. Again, I'm just looking at this real quick, but that's what it looks like to me. And hopefully you can get a good push out, right? Let's look at this chart here, this pullback. Nice divergence. Your three wave, this is where this is the do or die moment. It's about to reverse, right? If this is going to play out this bullish forecast, look, it hit it, and look, it got the you're getting the reaction already. So right there is where I would have expected it to reverse. You're getting the wick already. So there you go. So I think hopefully this breaks out for you guys, and I think this one looks pretty good to me. Now this could be an extended fifth. If it is a chance this bounce could fail and we could come back to 48. But I still like the chart. And what did these guys do? Let's take a look. Some kind of computing, networking company. We'll add it to our tech basket, and we'll keep an eye on it. Because it does look like people are trying to get in on it. But it is in this pullback, and hopefully you get a big push. Yeah, this is an interesting symbol. I don't know much about the company, but that's what it looks like to me. You're in. Oh, they have earnings. Oh, okay. So you're going into earnings in the box. So earnings could be the catalyst for 3 of 3. Now, nothing is responding like that right in the market, so that would defy gravity. So that you can decide. This chart is for your knowledge. You can decide how you want to play it. I always think earnings is risky, but Broadcom was in the box and it actually worked out for earnings, but it looks like it's trying to fade. So watch the fade in the connector and goes lower. Like I said, if this is a big fifth wave, it's likely to do that. Yeah, my cat. Yeah, it's just it probably wants me off the computer too or something. Pay attention to it. Um, but anyway, guys, sounds good. I'm out the end here. Good luck, guys, trading. My members out there, get the pro and elite videos out. I think my market updates already out. And again, Uh, Very interesting week ahead of us to see what kind of correction we're going to get. It's really going to define the correction, and are we going to get more of a sideways four-wave correction? Are we going to get just a straight crash correction? Are we going to get a nice bounce? And then we're going to get a good idea, I think, this week what's going to happen with the correction, like what the structure if it will look like. I think will come into existence where it's not really as clear as it can be. All right, guys. Good night, and talk to you.